The United States Post Service is going to raise their rates anywhere from 24 cents to $1.50. Now, the $1.50 is on their express commercial, but from what I've understood, 40 cents is basically what they're raising it on priority. Not a huge increase, and this is just a temporary increase for the fourth quarter because I guess from what everyone's saying, the Post Service is losing money left and right because of some deals that they made, retirees and things of that nature. So I think this is something that's kind of forced upon, and because they're trying to get help from the government to kind of help them with this. Trump said that he would not help unless they raised their prices, so they did. And like Anthony said earlier, if you're doing anything flat rate, definitely change that ASAP. And also remember, you're going to pay a fee on top of that fee. So don't just always put in the price that you're going to sell it for. Put in that little extra cushion. This way, everything will be covered, at least for the shipping side of things. I know it might, make it a little more costly for you, but you don't want to take that on and have that eat away at your profit margins either. So that's kind of why I've always done the calculated shipping. It's a lot easier to figure out. I never have to worry about going over unless I did a bad calculation. It definitely will cover the fees involved too, because especially if you're a top rated seller and you get that shipping discount as well. So,
definitely.
We just got to make adjustments and make the correct changes to keep turning and make a good profit on your item.
So one question I have for you is, what's your strategy going into this fourth quarter? I know for me, most of the time, like, I have the pack rat mentality going into fourth quarter, knowing that, this is Pittsburgh. It's going to get very cold. Yard sales and stuff like that are going to go away, which they haven't really been that big of a thing this year due to COVID and all that. But most of the great sourcing avenues dry up, especially because all of the resellers all hit the thrift stores like crazy during winter months because it's so hard to source in all the other areas. So there's like extra added competition everywhere. What extra strategies do you normally have? I know for me, normally September is my biggest month buying because I'm trying to fill my basement so full that it should theoretically last me until the snow melts. But it never ends up lasting because I always end up selling through like a whole bunch of it. But that's always my mentality, like September and October, fill the basement as much as I can because it's going to get crazy come, November, December with sales, plus being able to keep up with, having to be out there sourcing in the slower months. You know what I mean? Like towards the tail end of the great months, I really try to really pack it in.
Usually when it starts getting cold, I definitely go probably 90-10. With my reselling, I go 90 Amazon, 10% everything else. Just because of being able to go to stores is just super easy. There's usually a lot of clearance and different things that they're doing, especially after Christmas too. And I do a lot of OA. I might even start looking at Goodwill online auctions and stuff like that again, if I want to look for different stuff for eBay. I think because of the situation I'm in right now, a little bit of a financial crisis, I'm definitely going to put the pedal to the metal with the Amazon again, really ramp it up, and even start getting a little more into the wholesale than I would probably do normally. I really feel that this year there's going to be a huge shortage, which for all of us, that's huge profits usually on stuff like that. That is what is one of the driving factors of how hot toys and things usually come around. There's usually a shortage or something that comes into play, and then people will pay in crazy, insane prices for these items because their kid wants it for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Being able to have or know that, okay, I'm going to have 9 cases of this hot product come in or a couple different products come in, even though it's just probably a little under retail. If I'm able to double up my money, that's huge. And not only that, buying off these distributors, I'm getting ungated with Amazon too. So it's probably going to increase my reach of what products I'm able to grab during those clearance months. And even if you find something on the shelf that, okay, I bought this wholesale, here's some more, a little more expensive, but you can't find this anywhere. So I'm definitely going to go toward really ramping that side of things up, try to do a lot of OA again, and really get things rolling. that way. I really feel like I really missed out on a lot of good opportunities because of kind of like my burnout time, and it really hurt me really bad financially. I mean, I did invest a lot of money in the cards, which it's still here. Like my money's still here, but it's just not in my hand. So
Yeah.
just gotta kind of reevaluate, really understand what I'm doing with everything here, get a lot of stuff created and out and going. And so I think cards will continue to go strong, especially because the NBA, because the season's right around the corner again. Kind of my strategy with right now, like and it's kind of what I've always done. I might hit the bins every once in a blue moon just to kind of do something different. I hate doing things monotonous. You know what I mean? Like super monotonous. Like when I go to the store, even though I'm hunting for stuff, it's different stuff. So it's not like I'm looking for Monopoly or, one thing. I'm always hunting for whatever's available. It's more or less what I'm going to be doing moving to this Q4.
You should do some like random stuff like that though, just for the experience and the fun sometimes though, you know what I mean? Like for example, like I was just talking with Ash's Graham. We were on Amy's auction last night. Kathy was in the chat, and we got to talking about dumpster diving. I was like, Graham, I should take you dumpster diving. I said, you want to go do a dumpster diving video with me? She's like, yeah. She got all fired up about it. So now I'm going to go out and like record a dumpster diving video with Savage Granny in the dumpster. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to see you do some more stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like get out of your element and like experiment and try different things. And I think it'd be kind of cool.
Most of the stuff that I want to try and do, it always comes down to usually one thing most of the time. It's just time. You know what I mean? That's always what kind of hurt me with like growing my eBay and things of that nature. So how work is right now, I'm getting out later and later too, so it's tough. It really is. At this point, I was hoping to be full-time reselling right now. Things happen. COVID happened. Vehicles died. I had to buy another vehicle. Taxes come and go. So I'm taking this year as more like a lesson learned type of year where I'm taking a beating, but, I'm still here. You know what I mean? I could have easily just threw in the towel and just went back to work every day and tried to brown nose Mr. Burns as best as possible and try to get promotions and pay raises. But
you went into work, you half butted it, you were late, you were tardy, you were a horrible employee. No, I'm just kidding.
I've been on time. I've had to be on time because of doing the morning show and partly because of my late packing and stuff. Like I had 6 write-ups over tardiness. If I got one more in 1 year's period, I don't know when falls off, but I don't know when the last one I had or the first one of those 6 was, but I hope one falls off here shortly because you never know with traffic.
So how close did you come to like being able to film a video that said e-com and beyond made me lose my job?
There's been a few of those. Honestly, like whenever, because what they did was they waited like a week and then they written me up 2 days in a row, which was my 5th and 6th. And the day they give me their write-up, I was late by 20 minutes. So technically, I could have got fired already. Now, I think they showed me a little bit of mercy just for the fact that, like, they hit me 1-2 like that, and they waited.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was dead to rights. Like, usually it was only, like, 3 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 5 minutes late. This one was 20 minutes. So,
yeah.
I don't know how I fell through the cracks of that, but I'm still working there. So,
yeah, praise the Lord.
Yeah, I literally was, I was a little shook that, I was going to have to be full-time reselling.
Yeah.
I was prepared to do that with finances. So
if it happened, though, I feel like you would make it work. Like if you had to make it work, you would make it work.
It's really tough. Say I only had my paycheck. Like I just got paid. That's all I have in my accounts. I have inventory and stuff in Amazon and everything else. Not like mass amounts, but I do have stuff. Having cash flow and putting money into the business to be able to replace that profit with only that much money and having to take care of the family and pay bills, that would be tough, man. Out of a, say, $1,400 paycheck, that's probably my like 40-hour paycheck, what I get or whatever after taxes and all that. Say if I had to pay $600 in bills, food, and that's a nice amount. That's probably more because just feeding 3 kids going to the grocery store, I can spend $200-300 pretty quick.
Oh yeah, sure.
So if I'm lucky out of a check, I might have $400 to like put in towards the business. If it's merch fulfilled stuff and it's selling right away, I might have a shot at really getting things rolling. But if it's something that's going to sit and have to take a little longer to sell, I would be in trouble.
I think in order, like, and granted, like, I'm not an Amazon guru like, the great Nate Dizzy or anything, but I think in order to really make a full-time run in it, you'd kind of have to be like a both and type of thing. You know what I mean? While you're like killing it trying to do the merchant fill / FBA of Amazon, like you'd probably have to do some YouTube auctions or even some like, just like you just did a yard sale or flea market or even, go into some other avenues, as well. Local deals or whatever, just to kind of always keep something coming in. Because I know that, like, for me, when times get kind of hairy, that's whenever I really start thinking, like, I was doing the yard sale on Saturday and it was like dead. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to start listing some of these bigger items that I want gone. And somebody came and bought like the Kohler for like full asking price. And then they shopped around the yard sale just because I posted it local, and like stuff like that. Like I've had stuff sitting in my basement for like 2+ years that I'm like, I don't feel like digging it out and listing it, So that was like a perfect opportunity just to be like, all right, like I know I normally don't make very much money local, but I'm going to go ahead and list this local just because I have the time and I'm here. And like the other day, like I haven't been listing many like larger items on eBay because my workspace is like completely run over with death pile. I literally took the entire morning and I forced myself to clean off like the entire table and fix up my entire workstation just so I could like finally like list a regular item again because I've been listing nothing but cards just because my workspace was like covered with stuff. Now that it's like a little bit more livable and workable, I've been able to like start listing some bigger items again. But yeah, for a while there, it's like I'll do it another time just because I don't feel like dealing with moving everything and doing this and doing that. We're finally manageable down here and I still have a ton to do. Who knows what's happening with COVID and possible shutdowns and stuff. Like I'm still waiting to meet with the arcade guy about the storefront and all that. So as of right now, it's still like a green light, but God only knows what's happening as far as, legalities. And
it seems the COVID numbers, at least in PA, are dropping like pretty low though.
Yeah. I don't think PA is too big of a problem right now, but like I just heard like yesterday, Amy was telling me like they may be going red again over in Missouri where she lives. I'm thinking, dang man, if states are starting to go red again, like, it kind of hurts like having like a physical place. Like that was the best part about quarantine and everything for me is that like I already just work at home. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. Like everything that I do comes straight through my basement and out my door. That's the best part about having no overhead and kind of just working for myself at home. But now considering moving the entire, operation not only out of my door, but like 30 minutes away, you know what I mean? And then having to, rely on, the government may make not available to me anymore. You know what I mean? Like they could completely shut down foot traffic. We could not be allowed to be open to the public. I don't even know what will happen.
If things go back the way they were, which knock on wood, I hope they don't. Like whenever they had the shutdown go down, you weren't even allowed to go to your business. You were literally like stuck at home. Like you had to be home. Like unless your business was essential, which very few reselling places would be essential unless you're selling food items or something, to the public where, you're essential to be open. You'd be all shut down. You know what I mean? You would not be able to be in business and all the fees and overhead that you would have with anything or whatever, which yours would be kind of really super limited.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't have to pay anybody, because no one would be there. I'm guessing most utilities are covered. So for the most part, other than maybe like insurance, I think it wouldn't be really a factor for you for the most part. But anybody else that say would pay rent and own their space or whatever, like all that stuff is still owed. Like every month.
Oh yeah.
Bill, I think Renee over in California was paying $25,000 a month for.
That's crazy.
Like that's a lot of money that fell out, and he had to go to eBay and list from home and stuff to even like be able to pay some of that off, like or have money go towards that. So
And that's the other thing too. While like this is a great deal on my end because like the rent and stuff is covered for how, we go back into a shutdown for how many months? Like, does this dude want to pay just to have the place sit there? Then at some point does that fall on me? You know what I mean? So like these are all things that we're still trying to figure out. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to pay rent utilities on an empty building or not an empty building, but an unusable building.
Right. Yeah. The wording in the contract of that building, depending on who owns it and whatever, if that's on you and he pulls out saying I'm not paying for this anymore or whatever, he has an escape clause in that, you would be on the hook for all that.
Exactly.
I'm sure the utilities and stuff would be in your name or whatever, or maybe they would be. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. We haven't even met in person to discuss like logistics yet. It's just basically been hey, I trust this person, you trust this person, maybe we can get together and work together type thing. You know what I mean?
Definitely with that, you definitely want to be cautious on how everything is kind of set up, whose name stuff is in. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If he's paying for it, you almost want it to be in his name, from the building to everything, like, because then he's on the hook on it with any type of fees or anything that would incur if something like that would happen. Because whenever someone has some type of contract put in, they usually have some type of like small print, thing of a escape or a get out, even if it's a buyout. If say you signed a 2-year agreement with some type of guy for the storefront, you would be stuck there for the rest of the time. So.
Exactly. And I've been bitten by the fine print before, so like that's something that I'm definitely going slow into because I've run headfirst into stuff like this before and it's bitten me. So that's why this time I'm kind of just taking it slow. And if it comes together and it works, awesome. If it doesn't, I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
I don't know if I'm the know all be all, but I'm a good person to read all the fine print.
Did you say you're not the know all be all?
I'm not the know all be all, but I do know a good bit about it. A good bit. So if you need some help on that fine print, you know the call.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. I think this will put a wrap on this show. Appreciate everyone coming and hanging out with us today.
Hey guys, do us a favor. Before you click off this video today, make sure you go down below and check to see if you're subscribed to Nate. If you're not, make sure you take that red button and you punch it with your mouse till it becomes gray. And then you want to go and click that bell notification so you don't miss any of these show recordings because we're going to be dropping them all the time. They're going to be epic. You won't want to miss any of them. And then go down to that description and make sure you click the link that says Picksburgh and go over there and subscribe too because we're doing really cool content on my channel as well, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you.